Hey, what's up guys? This is Oakley, and no, your eyes are not blurry. This is actually me trying out the Gem FX mod, which has some awesome graphical details. I mean, look at the sun. We are going to have a large battle here, a massive battle, and we're going to enjoy some cool graphics. So here I am over on the left. I'm going to be playing as the Romans. Got a pretty tight formation. I have a lot of these levies in the front, 3 of them, backed by 3 auxiliary Syrian archers, 3 armored legionnaires, and in the back I actually kept my Evocati cohorts. Over on the left flank I have 2 Hastati, actually 3 Hastati, and then 1 auxiliary infantry. Another one paired up over here with Praetorian cavalry. Man, these graphics are awesome. I can't wait to get into this battle and look at some of the combat. And the Legatus there. Then we have, let's put this on play actually. Then we actually have our Verni here, Celtic warriors, Chosen Spearmen, Oathsworn kind of mixed in. And a lot of these Celtic youths and Gallic hunters in the front. Let's go ahead and actually look at some of these. Oh, Doge. This is going to be awesome. Man, look at the sun. Jeez. Oh, this is so freaking beautiful. Holy moly, I can't believe I hadn't checked out this mod earlier. We were going to have a good time with this, boys. Alright, so over here is going to be also Macedon. We have a lot of these pikemen. Yep, looks like all standard pikemen, so 5 of those. Backing that up with archers, more shield bearers, and actually some citizen cav in the rear. So it's a pretty defensive army, and so we were a little worried about him charging forward. I myself am going to be pushing up, and now we can see our opponents here, 2 Roman armies, 1 Carthaginian force. This one in particular just has a huge spam of legionary cohort with some Syrian archers pushing through the front. Let's, woo! Looks like the motion blur is on. The edge blur is a little high, but it does look awesome. Depth of field is definitely there, and you can feel it. Man, look at these Roman soldiers. This looks so badass, dude. I can't wait to implement this in my documentaries. Unfortunately, we're going to be moving on to Attila, and I don't think this mod would really exist for Attila, but hopefully they'll get on that. This is just, oh, simply beautiful. Let's watch actually some of these cavalry charging forward. Man, I can't get enough of this. I may have to tune the graphics a bit. The blurring on the sides, motion blur, and also so the distance blur is getting to me, but this is epic as fuck, man. Alright, so we have a lot of auxiliary cav, ton of them. That's like 4 units right over in that vicinity. A huge Roman line here with, I don't know how he afforded, I think he took, yeah, all infantry, so that's why. Huge legionary cohort. Man, that's all legionary cohorts. Oh, it's an all legionary cohort army, so we're going to be facing a lot of Roman army spam. Looks like the Carthaginians are going to have mercenary Cretan archers, Carthaginian hoplites, some African pikemen here, and Libyan infantry in the back with just a couple cavalry. So they're going definitely heavy infantry focused with, you know, some cavalry contingents. And here I am. We're going to be having an exchange between our Syrian archers. This is going to be very interesting to have a matchup of similar armed troops. So the way I'm going to take this battle is I'm going to position 2 of my Syrian archers and focus fire on 1 of his. He's going to go ahead and push his legionnaires up in front of that to start to absorb some of the fire. Yeah, the graphics are definitely beautiful in this. And then I have some of my own levies pushing the front. Looks like when I have K on or off, it actually increases or decreases the depth. Interesting. We'll have to play with those settings. But yeah, look at this. He wasted all of his Syrian archer volleys against this one unit, whereas this one is still firing on the flanks, getting a lot of shots off, and I've killed 10 of those guys. So actually looks like he did get the advantage there. He actually killed off 20 of my men. I think it was because these guys got some early volleys. I'm also going to be making moves on this side where I have some levies positioned in the front, and this is an advantage I have from bringing a lot of these actually cheap troops, is they'll be able to pepper the Romans, not do too much damage, but actually soak up a lot of their pilla. And let's watch one of these charges up the center with the Roman heavy infantry popping into focus. Man, oh my god, this is so epic. So here we go. So my Syrians should be retreating, pulling back, and I'm going to make sure I can focus on the flanks. We're even going to have some of these barbarian forces come and help me on the side. You can see some of their arrows starting to come and hit the Romans as they push forward. And now I can just fall back, and look at this. This is where I have my long line of cheap levies, who I really don't care anything about. And they're just here to basically soak up the fire from the Praetorians. And look at this, all a massive line of Praetorians. And let's see how this volley goes. I'm basically here just to soak up all these pilla. And this is going to come raining in pretty soon. So we're even going to get some point blank range shots against him. It looks like he's deciding to hold fire. along most of the line. He's not willing to fire off too many shots. Can go ahead and put this on slow motion. It's going to be a little confusing with the Roman forces shuffling around. Basically what I did is I pinned one of his legionary cohorts against my auxiliary infantry. I won't win that fight, but it's something that I will be able to you know, get him in the flanks on with some cheap Hastati. So I'm using 2 cheap troops to beat a better unit. Over here we've gotten into the mix with some of my own auxiliary infantry, pinning up a lot of his forces, and I'm coming in with my own Hastati to break his own units. And then I have my Praetorian cavalry, very, very good cavalry, chasing off his guys here. And then I'm going to reinforce with my levies, and also have some legionary cav to try and pin his cavalry. Archers here are going to turn about, and also have my general in the vicinity to try and pin these Roman cavalry. And look at this, in the front ranks, some of his guys are going to start penetrating my line. That's fine, he penetrated a line of levies, wasted all of his spears on those guys, and then I'm going to countercharge against his legionnaires. And I have a nice buffer set up here where if he wants to charge into me, he's going to get that assault broken up by my levies. So look at this, this is incredible, a face-off between these levy forces and the Romans in the distance. Can't believe these guys are holding up 6 Roman units. Very, very cool, and definitely absorbing a lot of fire. So here comes the main mix-up of the battle, and look at this, all these Roman legionary units moving up. Let's put this on play. I will warn you, this battle we're not going to focus too much on the tactics. We're mostly just here for the graphics, and I hope you guys... Oh, wow, that was a good scene. Cutscene right there. Yeah, so I hope you guys don't mind this too much, but I just really wanted to explore this mod, and this was the battle that let me do that. You're going to be mostly seeing Roman against Roman forces over on the right side, so it's a little hard to understand what's going on. That's okay, we're just going to be here for some of the graphics, like I said. So a whole mix, I've been able to absorb a lot of my opponent's legionnaires on just some of my troops. The legionary cohorts are going to be holding up against his legionary cohorts. He's going to start to penetrate some of my lines here. Very similar to how the Romans would have deployed in Manipul, so maybe this is a taste of what it would have been like in civil wars. So both of our forces going at it with some of my supporting Syrian archers. I'm making sure to position them in flanking places, so we'll get some of those shots. Wow, that looks so beautiful. I love the depth of field and the almost like, yeah, this is so beautiful, guys. This is amazing. I hope you can enjoy this with me. So just tearing into the flanks of the Romans. Let's watch some of these troops start to go down. Here comes another volley. Wow, this is so brutal, guys. I love this. So here we go. Pinning more of his forces in the front. He's going to start penetrating with his cavalry, but I am soaking up a lot of his guys. And I got my Praetorian cav into the rear of his legionary cohorts, and now I'm going to engage with 2 Evocati and a legionary force, so double teaming against him. And over here, I'm also going to put some of my Evocati. My forces are going to start to get surrounded. My Hastati here, another legionary auxiliary infantry are going to start to get broken. I'm pulling out with my levies, and I'm going to reinforce that with Praetorian cav. So he has a huge group of infantry. Hastati are still alive, and I'm going to have some of my elite top tier units over here, and they're going to be dealing with the opponents. I get another volley against his guys who are tired and exhausted, and then I charge in, and this is going to be enough. 1 unit holding back. Take a look at this, that entire mass of Romans. Now I still have actually a couple of my own units. Looks like Hastati and Hastati have reformed, so I'm going to be able to force back the cavalry here. He did chase down my levies. I'm going to counteract that and come in standard to this, but look at this. Evocati right here are going to be chewing into these Roman lines, holding up 3 units. So keep in mind I had less troops with lower quality, but my Evocati are going to be saving the day. So one of them here, another one positioned here, and another one in the back lines, definitely helping me tear it up. Let's watch some of these Roman cavalry forces. Man, you can see even some of the bloom right here. God, this is so freaking pretty. Kudos to the guys who made this mod. This is incredible, and I can't wait to make my own, you know, use this for, as I said, the documentaries or even trailers for those documentaries. Oh, I really should have been using this for all my documentaries. So yeah. This is so freaking beautiful. I'm at a loss, guys. This is awesome. Okay, so here we go. The main Gallic line has basically descended. They're getting kind of crushed by the Romans because, like you saw, they had the legionary spam over here. Not too much going on besides missile exchange and cavalry engagements. But all along the front, we're now going to be engaging with the Roman legionnaires, and they've massacred some of our lighter troops. But now they're going to be boiled down, and we're going to have some nice heavy horse action. Now it's going to be up to the Romans. This is the problem of a Roman force that's completely engaged, is you can get these cavalry strikes into the rear. And over here, I was able to get a bit of the sandwich on these legionary cohorts. My Hastati are in the rear, starting to chop into these guys. And these Evocati are down. Yes, they're down by 50 so men, but they've killed 107, 108, 109, 110. It's really going up. And now I have my auxiliary Syrians who are going to be running around, and they're going to be in position to pick off some of these cavalry units who are also going to be landing strikes on the rear of my forces. Very problematic for me. There goes a volley into the opponents, picking off some of these cavalry forces. I really want to get rid of those guys. So it's just blood and bodies and chaos. But my Evocati are still standing strong. 107 men left in that army. Another, huge clump of Roman forces held up against my armored legionnaires. We are holding the line. This is basically Caesar's legions. My own guys, definitely veteran, holding up against these raw recruits. In a civil war, this is what matters. My Evocati cohort is actually just destroying the enemy forces. They've been buffed by, relentless ability, improving my attack and morale, so they are having, beast mode engaged right here, thanks to my allies' general being nearby. We're going to be swamping these Roman forces. The Roman general is still here. I'm going to try and commit onto him. You can see my archers. Let's watch this fateful volley. There, you can see the Roman general being picked off. Let's hope we can watch one of these volleys coming in. See how he fares. So he's going to now start to retreat. Some deadly accuracy, picking off a couple of those guys. You can see the last one in the distance. I wonder if that's even the general himself. No, it looks like they're going to retreat and pull back to the safety of what they think is going to be this area back here. Try and reform and hit the light horse. But they're going to be abandoning the front lines where these legionary cohorts are going down. A lot of these forces collapsing on Oathsworn. We're going to be taking a severe beating. But we're going to start winning this side of the battlefield. And also over here, I've been able to clean up on this side. And so all due to these, even Hastati with the 126 kill, that's unthinkable, especially against the legionary cohorts. And my, armored legionnaires, Evocati, I pulled to the back, wanted to save these troops as much as possible. And we're going to be pincering the remaining Roman forces, definitely relieving all my legionary cohorts. Here's another one chopping up the Roman forces. So I've actually been able to slaughter the vastly larger Roman forces. I'm going to reform on this flank, allow my ally to regroup behind me, and now we're going to go to the relief of the Gallic forces over here, although we do have some Carthaginian cav deploying into the back. I wonder what this view looks like, actually. That is truly epic. So we're going to be facing off, not too much going with the Carthaginian forces and the Macedonian forces. Basically infantry against infantry. At this point, the rest of the units have been basically, oh my god, these views have been stripped. Basically, all that's left is infantry. All the skirmishing and cavalry capacity has been stripped. Jesus Christ, this is so beautiful. So we're going to have a huge face-off. But the advantage of these guys is they do have pikes. And especially with the Libyan infantry, they have javelins ready, not only to pick off these pikes from the side, but also, put themselves on the flank and even envelop that. So a lot of the enemy Syrian archers are still alive. I'm going to sacrifice actually one of my Syrian archers. You can see them actually sprinting into the engagement. Going to pin these forces up. Going to break, but it's going to allow time for the rest of my legionnaires to start moving into this position. Get a couple volleys and close the distance. And especially you can see me here targeting the Roman general with the Hastati. Let's actually watch this Roman general. They're going to countercharge me with another unit trying to intercept. But here we're going to have actually more troops descending on us. So pretty big strike on my Hastati. They should be going down. I was hoping I'd be able to get a volley against his general, but he actually used that as bait against me. Over here, my forces here are going to be combining. We finally swamped the rest of the enemy legionnaires. There's one legionnaire cohort here being held up by my own armored legionnaires. I mean, you can see the numbers advantages with my opponent, and so I'm going to sweep around with the Evocati, who are exhausted, but they have over 200 kills, and also clean up. So you can see me positioning here behind both these units, getting flank shots. Let's watch some of this engagement. With the Roman music, this is just incredibly epic. God, this is so good. So there we go. Here comes the Macedonian phalanx pushing forward. against the Greek hoplites, and he should really push forward. Otherwise, he's going to be getting a lot of javelins in the face. He should really start pressing into the line. And like I was saying, here they go. They're going to be pushing around the sides, so we do have some hoplites in the back who are going to try and hold this force back. Push up, and they're going to start to engage against the line. And yep, here comes some of the pikes moving forward relentlessly. So there they go. That looks too awesome. So here we go, finally engaging. And this is a battle we should win as long as they don't get behind our lines, which is exactly what you're seeing. Deep penetrations from Libyan and hoplite forces around the sides. Push it around here. Cavalry's still alive, and this is going to be a problem as they start to push through our pikemen. We're actually not doing that much damage. We've engaged, but we're not really going to be able to do too much damage. We're just poking and prodding, and now here comes the thickly formed enemy pikeman. Actually looks like he's going to be doing an attack order here. You're going to see some pikes on pikes. Too cool. That is, wow, with the blur, look at all those pikes. Oh my god, this is so cool. But yeah, like I was saying, this is the main problem I think we have, is the Carthaginians at our backs. They've been able to sweep around the side, and it looks like he's going to be just waiting patiently to have a javelin strike into the rear, and that's going to just start to obliterate this force. I don't think he's even going to charge. He's just going to get the most use out of these javelins. I mean, might as well. This is probably the easiest target practice shoot you'll ever have. And there we go. That second volley cleaned up maybe 3-4 ranks of those guys. And they're going to be especially thin. I think, yep, here we go. Final charge. And so that's going to be essentially the end of this line. However, on this side, we are actually finally getting the advantage. Evocati here with 341 kills, 281 on that one, and has Armored Legionnaires with 235. I also have some more Evocati over here, 248, helping to break this Legionary cohort. I have just a few Romans remaining, and you can see the grinding fest that was this civil war on this side. Looks like we came out on top, somehow beating the entirety of that Roman force. You will remember that they had all legionary troops, an entire army, no cavalry, and somehow we came out on top. So this was definitely due to the tenacity of our warriors. And let's go ahead and give them the credit they deserve. Watch them beat up these Romans. And there we go. Finally they break. So this is going to be where we're going to clean up. No mercy. Can't allow these guys to come back. Let's get a little nice shot of my guys reforming, exhausted after the slaughter of some of them. Like I said, over 300 kills on some of these guys. But some of them are still beating on their chests, their shields, they're ready. So I'm going to regroup these guys. There's no real sense of going to try and save the pike line that's over in the distance. I mean, it's over the crest of the hill, and I can tell that it's already being broken down and destroyed. There's nothing really we can do to save that. They're too far and we're too exhausted. It's better to just recoup our stamina, and so we're going to reform on this side. We can go ahead and watch this. I mean, the shield bearers will hold a little better than the pikes when they can face multiple directions, but yeah, the pike lines are being broken up from the front. They're only against hoplites. They don't have the penetration to kill that. And then from the rear, they're going to be attacked by high attack units. So that's going to be the end of this pike line. No real support for these forces, and they're going to be completely boxed in and surrounded on all fronts. And actually, something I will mention is, you see how the ghosting is happening right here when I get close to these units? That's something that they implemented in Rome 2 that I was kind of pissed about. But a really, really cool thing in Attila is you actually have the option to toggle that effect on or off, which is awesome. And I tried it and it works. I hope that's not a feature they axe, but it is really awesome, especially if you want to do these documentaries where you want to get these up closer, especially machinimas. That's going to be a very crucial feature. So it's definitely something I want to mention that is there in Total War Attila. And man, like I said, I hope these guys can get the same sort of graphic shaders and all that stuff into Attila. I don't think it will be too hard. It's running on the same engine, so they could hopefully import a lot of this, because I would love to bring this over to depict the Battle of Adrianople. Imagine with these effects. Oh, that is awesome. And hopefully I'll make that a standard of my video production. And as we're talking to our ally, and we're telling him to just pull back with whatever he can, so he's going to try and pull back with shield bearers. However, he's going to be chased to the ends of the world. They massacre that force, and now they're going to be, here you go, positioning themselves to cut off any forces trying to retreat. We may be able to get a shield bearer a little far out from the distance, but it's not going to be enough. We were able to pull back some of these shield bearers, however, so they'll be coming back and reforming with the Romans. Jeez, look at this. These guys have seen some stuff. It's got a slow pan going of my weary Roman veterans. Whew. Yeah, they definitely deserve the rest. I mean, can you imagine this? Look at the amount of armor they're wearing in the sun. They're baking. The battle that they just had, horrendous kills. Let's see how many these guys got. I mean, 251 kills, 307, and 293. So they're almost all at 300 kills apiece, and that is insane. So yeah, not much left from the Gallic force either. I mean, it's just going to be his General Oathsworn 236, Oathsworn here 355, and Spear Warriors 192 with Spear Warriors. That is incredible. These guys really not getting too many kills. They have to fall back to our forces. And they've basically obliterated. This guy's going to be reduced to almost nothing. Just a couple guys holding out. And doesn't this look a bit like Tilt Shift, the effect they did? It really looks like it's almost miniature forces. That's really cool. I really like this effect. And this last force of shield bearers, who's pretty elite units, but they're going to be pinned against spears, Libyan infantry, and cavalry, and even more hoplites. So they're going to be getting put through the ringer. And they're going to come on a little scouting expedition to see what's left of our forces. We're actually a little bit behind the crest of this hill, so they have no idea how many of our guys are left, where they're positioned, and so we're using that to our advantage. You'll see we're going to scoot actually around to the left, and I'm going to fast forward this just for the time being. You can see the mopping up operations. Our guys are now just basically winded, and now they're going to start to move, and we're going to use the terrain advantage, this little hill, to actually scoot around into a good position. We're going to reveal a couple of our guys over on this side, make our opponents think we're here, and then I'm actually going to send some of my legionnaires over on the left. Man, I can't get it. This is some background quality images right here. I am so glad I was able to have a computer that ran this. My brother actually is the one who helped me put it together. So don't come asking me about computer suggestions. I don't really know that much. He just helped me put it together. I do think I have a GTX 770 graphics card, and then I think it's an i5 Intel Core processor, or maybe it's an i9. Oh man, I can't remember, but it runs like a beauty, especially for Total War. I think this is something you gotta splurge on if you're a big lover of these mass battles, and if you can get this mod and run it like this, I mean, look at this. This is beautiful. Let's follow in the steps of the Carthaginians, who are now going to be moving up victoriously actually against the Romans. So in this alternate history, it looks like this is Carthage resurgent. And our troops lining up. All we've been able to muster with the remaining forces is going to be a single line of pikes. That is something to make a Macedonian cry. A single line of pikes, nothing to back them up besides a couple hoplites. So what we're thinking of doing is pulling them back actually to the hoplites, having their spears stick through the hoplites a little bit further. But I've pulled two of my Roman units using the line of sight to get them over to this position. One of these Libyan units is actually going to be positioned over here, and I figure I can take these guys, hopefully with my veterancy. Brace for that volley, but it's still going to take out... Oh man, actually that's going to take out a lot of Romans. So as that's going on, I get another group engaged, but they're just going to be swamping me with these Libyans. I figured I could take them, but the numbers are slowly going to turn against us, especially with the general, who's going to be positioned to land some rear strikes. Over on this side, I do have one more Avocati, another one positioned here, but he has pikes facing against me, so I'm waiting for somewhere else to push. Our pikemen are getting broken up, and look at this. These Gallic forces are committing to the fight, but they're not really going to last. This is very, very troublesome for me. This rear strike coming in on my Avocati, is not much I could do to brace for that. And that is going to be the end for these Avocati with 358 kills. I mean, they're still holding in strong with 37 men, 36, but it is dropping. General's ability has been popped, and these guys are not going to be getting there in time. I really wanted them here to help support and save my guys, and they're still in the fight. They're still not breaking. That's incredible. Been able to chase off the cavalry, but, you know, my guys are dwindling. 20 men left. This guy is basically broken. There we go, he breaks. So I'm trying to keep these Avocati within their influence spheres of each other to try and support them. I'm still trying to pin. My last hope is to get a volley against this general. Was hoping I could snipe him. It's not going to be quite that. And before I can come back and support this guy, he's going to end up dying. But he's going down almost at the last man fighting. And it's mostly my legionnaires are the last ones alive. And now we're going to start flashing all along the field. And that's going to be the breaking of the Roman force. So a very interesting battle, and definitely a huge introduction for me to this mod. I'd heard a lot about it, but I'd never really checked it out. And I have to say, I am blown away. I will definitely try and use this in upcoming documentaries, pending the fact that I am working in Attila Total War, so we'll see if they can transfer it. But definitely when I come back and do more stuff in Rome 2 engine, which I definitely will. I want to cover Battle of Zama, Ilipa, probably all sorts of things. Probably want to cover Scipio's campaigns in Iberia. We'll probably do Macedonian War, Mithridatic War, so a lot of stuff. We'll definitely be coming back to this, and hopefully even Alexander's campaigns. But yeah, hope you guys enjoyed this massive battles with the massive graphics. And look at this, it's funny, it even has blurring going on here on the stats, so we can't really see much of what's going on. I definitely got a lot of kills. You could see, sort of see here, it's blurred out. Unfortunately, but anyways, hope you guys enjoyed. You can see the enemy kills definitely doing very well for themselves, and they brought a lot of men, 2600, 2160. And yeah, awesome battle. Hope you enjoyed. I will see you guys next time. And let me know what you guys think of these graphics. Do you think I should do it more often than not? I know it's a little distracting. It's hard to describe more strategic battles. So let me know, when do you think it's appropriate to share with this. But definitely, I will be doing it on some battles because it looks epic. Thank you so much. I've been rambling long enough. See ya.